Today I want to give you a quick overview of learning with texts. I've been using it for about a month now on our website, keytokorean.com, and it's very useful, very helpful for learning and studying a foreign language because you can import long texts, you can link to audio, you can read and study the texts and look up words in dictionaries and save those words, and you can also listen to a recording of that text as you're going along. So for me, it's been really helpful to use the talktomeinkorean.com Yagi series because there are 146 episodes of that. There's tons of material. They have an MP3 freely available that you can link to. They also have a PDF. This is the PDF where you could just copy and paste the text, which is what they talk about. Then you can study those words and you can push play on the MP3 to listen to it as you're reading it, as you're studying it. It's just an amazing resource. So let's just take a look at what this thing can do, okay? If we go into read, you notice that there's 4 windows. The first window up here on the left is the information about the text. It's also got the MP3 area here, and I can play it live in the browser if I want. Just play and it'll start playing. You can see it's loading some. So that's really useful. Then I can follow along as we're reading. You'll probably notice also here there are a lot of highlighted words. These highlighted words all indicate different levels of how well I know them. So the bright red orange ones are the ones that I just learned. I just looked those up, and you can see if I hover over them it even tells you what those terms are. This one, ilbyong, is private first class, and I'm learning at level 2 because I saw it once, so I advanced it to level 1. This one, the green one, is a number 5, which means I know it pretty well. Najaki, that means was low. It was low down to the ground. So all of these words are just easy to study in this format. The blue ones down here are unknown words yet. I don't know all these words yet. I haven't finished reading this. You can see up here at the top there's 160 that I still don't know, that I haven't studied quite yet. So when you do this, it's really convenient because, for example, if you're starting off brand new and you've never used the program before, you can just click I know all. That'll change all of the words to, the white, so that it looks like you know everything. Then you can read it and you can click some of the words and you can redefine them if you want, if you don't know them. Otherwise, if you have a lot of blue words like this, all you have to do is just click one of the blue words like this. This says disk. Just click it, and here you can see it pops up a little definition box. You can decide, I know this term well, ignore this term. It has expressions it's used in. You can look up the terms in 2 different dictionaries and Google Translate. You can look up the sentence in Google Translate. Really nice. Over here on the right side, at the top, is where you can define your new term. So it pops up the term, whichever one you clicked on, and in here it has the translation. So obviously disk is disk, or disk maybe with a C. And then I could tag it if I wanted to. I could have tags. Later you could search the tags. If you're studying Chinese, Japanese, Korean, maybe you want romanization of the word. So I could write disk if I want, disk or something. And then underneath it even has the sentence that it's in, so you can look it up in context if you want. I don't usually do anything except the translation. And if I don't know the word, if my highlighter doesn't pop it up, whatever it is, then I copy it, paste it into the Naver dictionary, which the bottom panel here is whichever dictionary you've defined from the beginning of the setup of learning with text, and look it up, and there you can see what it says. Disk with a K, disk with a C. It's both. And here is your status, your learning status. Number 1 means you don't know it. Number 5 means you know it pretty well. WKN means it's really well known and it'll show up with no highlighting. Or IGN means ignore. Sometimes you can ignore names or places or things like that. That should also show up with no highlighting. And then you can save it. And then back over here in the text panel, when it saves, the word will turn whatever color you highlighted it for. And it's slightly slow right now. There you go. It's unhighlighted because it's a well-known term. Usually on the first load this is slightly slow for me, but after I get going, you know, it's really quick. It's like it warms up to me or something, I don't know. But I'll start clicking and defining and click and define and click and define and click and define and click and define, and it's really convenient, really fast. You also have the option here to print things, to edit things, you know, to add new terms. Later, if you want, you can export all of your terms to Anki, flashcard program. Here are some of my other readings that I did. You know, you can see how many words I saved, how many unknown words there are, the percentage I don't know. You know, you can import a new text. You know, there's a lot of different things you can do with this program. It's brilliant, honestly. Let's take a look at my statistics. I haven't looked at that before, but I have statistics. So you can see here in the last 7 days I have many words that I learned, many new words. In the last 30 days, many new words, 3,000 new words it looks like, and in all time like that. So one of the things that I noticed with Korean is that because of the way it's spaced, and because I've set it to parse spaces, here a space indicates a new word. So what usually happens is things that have object or particle markers, they end up getting defined multiple times, you know. So for example, this one says Jin Suk Jin입니다. That means I'm Jin Suk Jin, and so I will define that, translate that as I'm Jin Suk Jin. And later he'll say Jin Suk Jin Ieo, and so I define the same thing, Jin Suk Jin Ieo, I'm Jin Suk Jin. So that's slightly annoying, but it's no big deal. Here's 저희는, sometimes 저희를, sometimes 저희가, sometimes, you know, things like that. It'll always highlight as blue because you haven't actually defined it yet, even though you know what it is. So I mean, it's just a good way to review all of the things that you know. It's a good way to learn a lot of new words, a lot of new phrases, a lot of new grammar. I noticed in this Iyagi series they end a lot of their sentences with 잖아요. So that's pretty useful. So I hope that you've enjoyed this short preview of learning with texts, and stay tuned the rest of this week. I'll introduce how to use it, how to import texts, some of the different tools you can use, and why I think it's a really great tool for learning a new language. Thank you.